Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Okay, audio is working beautifully. Guys, I'm running all over the place. I was just like plugging my phone in. Again, I unplugged the charger the other day and like, then I just, oh my goodness, I don't even know if I forgot anything. I don't know. We're going to hold our breath until it happens. But the stream has started. I left my camera on this morning when I did a tech check, and so now it's only half charged. So luckily today's live stream is actually not going to be a long one. It's a pretty short. We are finishing up our Stranger Things VFX shot, guys. Oh, what a month. We have been working on this all month, and we are just now finishing it up. If you guys have not been here, one second, my chat isn't popping up. Let's fix that real quick. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hey, Nikki's welcome. Welcome to the live stream today. Yeah, I think we're good here. Oh, I got so much headroom. I like bumped things. I moved things around, and then I'm like, I gotta try to fix it. Like, can we do this? Let's scale me up. Let's make me bigger. I think it's better. Certainly a better. I'm sitting in the better third of the shot. Okay, let's not make that full screen. I think we're good to go. Today we are finishing up the Stranger Things render that we've been working on for the last few weeks. We already did animation. I rendered everything out. I checked it inside of my comp, and we are all good to go. So today we're just finishing up the comp. Now here's the thing. We spent most of the time on our first live stream setting up all the lighting and the comp and everything like that. So today is pretty chill. Today we're kind of just going through and dropping it in. That's it. We're just going to drop it in. And here's the thing. When we drop it in, we might want to make some adjustments. I'll probably run through everything again just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I do have a Q&A up here for any of you guys who join. What is your favorite holiday tradition? Please drop some wisdom in the chat there. I'm gonna show you guys where we were at, what we rendered, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So last week we kind of put together our render here, and I'll run you through some of the settings that we have on our Blender setup here. But here's our scene. For all of you guys that are new here and maybe haven't seen it yet, we'll go ahead and play through it. We did some animation inside of Blender, and currently it's showing the high-res version of this, I believe. So we can actually make it low. Well, I'll make it low res just so you can see it in playback speed here. This one right here. Am I not able to hit the play button? There we go. Either way, it's not playing back at real time. I wonder what's going on here. But this was the animation that we did inside of Blender. And we used shape keys as well as this rigged character that we created. We used a base model from Blender Blend Swap, but then basically remodeled the character using that base model by sculpting additional details and things like that on it. Now, we added the teeth and all of that stuff as well. Today, we're going to go in and start adding some slime and all that gooiness inside of the render, because it doesn't have any of that. And if you guys are familiar with Stranger Things at all, you know that there is quite a bit of slime and gooiness inside of your character creature. Now, there's a couple ways you can add slime and gooiness. We are going to be doing it in comp because it's the way I prefer to do it. However, you can do it inside of Blender with some cloth sims. We're not covering that today. Today, we are just covering comping inside of Nuke. So this was that render, and then we are going to take this over into Nuke and compile everything there. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Nuke, and we can close and minimize our Blender. Take a breather moment as we open this up. Let's go ahead and launch that. My Spindrift water that I'm drinking here. Stay hydrated, everybody, as you are working on your VFX shots. Let's go ahead and open up our comp here. I'll version this up as well, so that way we are working with a new version. But before we get too into it, I will also showcase the breakdown that we have here. We added this CG marble into our VFX shot just as an example of what the lighting would look like. And as you can see, there's a couple things that we're doing here. First of all, this is adding an extended bounding box. So we're probably going to want to take this undistort. We'll just copy it and then paste that at the very end of our project here. And then we will swap that to redistort. Now, what this is going to do is basically going to distort our footage back to the way it was. So now when you preview it, there should be no differences between the plate and the comped version. Now, the comped version, of course, will have this marble in it, as well as all these wonderful like reflections that we added into the ground. And then it blocks off the sunlight as well, which I could show you each one of those steps. So the first thing we do when creating this comp is we undistort the shot. You can see that happening here. We're just undistorting the shot. It's barely visible, but it is happening. If it's an anamorphic lens or something like that, it would be a lot crazier. Sorry, someone went down the wrong pipe there. Anyways, and then the next thing we do, because we have this marble that we're dropping in, we need to block the sunlight that is reflecting on the surface from the background. Now, I had to do this on a film that we just added some CG like objects in the background recently, and they had a very reflective ground. Most grounds are going to have some sort of like roughness, reflectiveness that's going to happen from like a window from behind or something like that. So you're pretty often going to have to do something similar to this. So all we did was we actually created kind of like a clean plate projected version of the ground. And this clean plate version is just the paint out of everything here where we're removing all of that. And you can see it's kind of like removing the reflections on the ground and creating kind of like a bit of a diffuse pass, if you will. And then this is being projected onto a card, which is just the ground. And then that is this guy. So this whole area here is our ground. And then using our, kind of like reflection that we have, we are then, creating a alpha mask of this, and then basically only putting the paint out in the area that we need it, not everywhere, but just where the marble is blocking it off, because you kind of want that to block off the reflectiveness of the room. And you can kind of see that happening right here. We're adding a nice little bit of extra diffuse on the ground to create the first part of the shadow. And then comes the second part, which is adding those reflections back, because now that we're adding an object there, we're going to have the ground having any kind of like, reflectiveness of what that is. So we have to kind of match the amount of reflection that is on the ground already, but now adding the details of our object, which could be just a marble ball in this instance, or it could be a whole creature or person, right? And we can control the amount of this by this mix slider here. Next up, we're going to add the shadows of our object in. and we're just multiplying that in over top of everything. And then finally, we're adding in the actual beauty layer of our object and then redistorting everything back. Now that it works very simply for a marble, but that's the reason why we did it. We did this reflective marble first because it's a really easy thing to see if it sits inside the world. You could do it with a gray ball, you could do it with anything, but you're just really dialing in your lighting now. Now we can go ahead and pull in our new CG monster, which should be sitting somewhere in the same folder over here. But instead of under temp, we're going to go to the render folder because inside of our Blender, I rendered it out to a folder called render and it's V3, which was the version number that we had prevised. So I'll go ahead and select that and we're going to drop that in. I'm going to tag it as Scene Aces CG here. And we'll go ahead and just drop it in. Now, first things first, we actually have a few problems with this, I think. Or actually, no, I might have already done it because when I tested it out, I dropped everything in. So firstly, we get our shuffled version of our shot here. And you can kind of see what's happening. If we go ahead and play it back, I'll just go ahead and play this real quick. And I'll catch up on messages. Hey, Nickies, you're back. Any updates on your movie? Yes, I'm going to a film festival in just a few weeks at the City of Angels Film Festival here in Los Angeles. So I'm very excited about that. And it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time. If anyone's in the LA area, I can maybe link to the Eventbrite. That might be a good idea. Let me do that real quick. I have the link to the Eventbrite if you guys want to buy yourself a ticket to go see the film. Not sure if anybody here is near LA, but that should be the link to it. Okay. Where's my stream subway? There we go. Yeah, if you check out that link there, it'll take you over to the page and you can get a ticket to go watch the film live on the big screen. Okay, here it is in playback. So this was our animation that we rendered out with our textures and everything like that. It looks pretty good. But it's missing, those goo and the, all that kind of like drippiness that these monsters have when they've got all this saliva. Because also the thing is he's eating me, right? So there should be a little bit of blood as well as everything else. Now, when we projected this stuff, we did project, kind of like this post in here, which maybe in hindsight wasn't a good idea because we do need this in order to create the clean plate version of the shot. So we might actually have to do a little bit of finicky paint out fixes on that. I did end up fixing that later over here. You'll notice I actually painted out the post that was here because I knew that my body was going behind it. Which brings me to the next point that I'd like to make. So I created these crypto mats, which is already plugging directly into our mesh, our low Q, our high Q, all of that stuff. It's creating an alpha channel essentially of this. Oh, whoops, accidentally typing here. But you can see it's creating an alpha channel on our crypto mat and also for the ground here. A good thing to note with this is that I already created a full breakdown of making this on the first live stream. So just go watch that. I'm not going to go over every single node that I added here, but this is going to add our character in as well as you can see, all the detailed reflections that we have. Now, this is the first part that I'd like to show that I made a little bit of an oopsie on when I was designing this shot, is that the post for where this guy is right where he's eating my neck, which is not exactly great comping or compositing because now I've got to hide it by rotoing this post in. We've got two options here. We could paint out the post completely, or I can move me. And I'm just going to move me because that's a lot easier to do. So let's go ahead and we're going to go over into our comp over here. And there's these three different layers. There's the paint out layer there's reflections, there's shadows, and then there's beauty. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a transform node in here. And because of the camera move, I know we can get away with this. I'm just going to move us over horizontally. The man is the ground is you. That is correct. How you doing, Okai Sado? Okay, and then once I take this transform node here, I'm going to go to edit, we'll copy as a clone, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paste it. And essentially, we just want to paste it a few times here. And so now it's going to get the beauty over here. Now, I don't mind if it blocks this part of my face. You know, it's mostly that when he's eating and all of that stuff, it's not going to be in the way. And that's pretty good there. So we're just going to use that there. I'm going to go ahead and play it back, and we're just going to make sure that everything tracked just fine. Otherwise, you know, we might have some issues. I don't think we're going to have any issues, but we'll just double check it. You're all good? That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm actually going to put me down here just so that way I'm out of the way of any of the settings that I do. Yeah, I hope if any of you guys were in the US, happy Thanksgiving week to you guys. Hopefully you had a nice and relaxing time. If you were not in the US, then it's a normal week. But for us that did get the long weekend, it's been very nice and relaxing. I'm very thankful for that and ready to get back to work tomorrow. I think I'm ready. We'll see how it goes. It's looking pretty solid from the tracking perspective. Now we don't really have to worry too much. When this did render, though, it did render it as the... Oh, did I not? That is pretty funny. Just cache this back. And then we'll have to roto in all the objects that go in front of everything. Comp in some blood, I think. Let's open up some Action VFX assets here, guys. Sign into my Action VFX account. Then I'm going to look through and see if I can find some blood. We want some blood assets, guys. I'll put this over here on the screen, I think. And let's see if we've got anything here. Got this blood splatter that's fabric, pools of blood. I have one pool of blood. Let's go take a look at that. Got some severed necks. For sure use this pool of blood and then position it on the ground. I think that's... How did I scan myself? I used an app called Polycam. It's a free app. It's not a bad scan, especially for something like this. I think, yep, on your cell phone. I also think I rendered this out with LQ and HQ when I rendered it, by the way. So technically, there might be some glitchiness with it, but it doesn't look bad. So I'm not going to redo it, I don't think. Okay, very cool. So we have that. Let's go take a look at some of these Action VFX stuff. Let's go ahead and download the 2K ProRes for this blood pool. So we'll comp the blood in under me. Come on, let's download. There we go. And I'll save it to our project folder. So let's find that real quick. Our live streams, and we'll do this date with assets and then 2D assets, which is what we want. And then I'm going to create a new folder in here called AVFX. 8K just for the small blood pool. That makes sense. Let's save that in here. I am realizing right now, guys, I apologize if I'm a little low energy. I don't know. I'm feeling a little low energy right now. Let's see, let's do length. I just like to know if it's... I like doing this because then you know for sure it's fully downloaded. So now inside of here, I would probably do this on this layer, which is after drink a monster. I don't have any monsters. Also, monsters aren't really good for you. Okay, so right here, if we're looking at our breakdown that's kind of happening here, we are undistorting our footage. Then we're adding in kind of like this non-reflective ground part. We probably at this point want the blood to exist. So that's before the shadows here. So I'm going to go ahead and import our asset, 2D AVFX blood. Monster up. I make movies about monsters. I'm not trying to become one myself, okay? And let's see. Let's add a corner pin. You've never drank a monster? I mean, they're pretty good, but I wouldn't recommend them. I don't think they're the healthiest thing ever to drink. So maybe I shouldn't recommend them, but they do taste pretty good. Add our blood in. This is already like way too big, I think. Let's do that. So this now, let's see, we'll just grab everything. What's really nice about this is it adds the reflections into this blood, which is really nice because that already adds so much extra detail to this blood without us having to do very much. Let's position this a little more there. I think we're pretty close to it, guys. There we go. Look at that, guys. Don't even drink. Oh, dude, I don't drink coffee. I don't think that's a bad thing. Coffee's definitely an addiction, in my opinion. I'm actually kind of almost anti-coffee. Because everybody that I know that drinks coffee, if they don't have coffee when they are waking up, they're in like just the worst mood. It's like you can't tell me that that's like a good thing to be. All right. So this is the amount of blood, I think. Oh, it looks pretty good, guys. Now, you'll notice that it's not tracking with everything because it's a 2D asset. So we're probably going to have to copy our camera. Let's do this. Let's go over here to Scene Plus. We will not link the outputs. And let me try selecting all of our objects over here. Just put it over here. I don't think it needs to be connected to anything because I just want this. I need the camera and the scene, and then we'll take the card that is the ground. That's what we want here. So we'll copy this ground card and we'll paste it. And essentially, I just want this first frame because that's where we... What frame was it that we were doing this on? I'd say probably about there. And then we'll do a frame hold and the camera frame holds, and then we'll do a projection. Coffee Maniacs. Is Scanline a real render engine? It's a, well, I mean, it's a render engine. It's not something that you can really use on anything except for in Nuke because it's a proprietary render engine. But it is a render engine. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to merge this over top of a constant. Is this not plugged in? Oh, there we go. And then this constant is obviously going to be set to this HD kind of like container. So if we do that, then when we do the projection, it will project this image here on top of this card. And we'll take this whole scene here and we're going to move this down. So this scene, this will have to work. It's a little disorganized, but it's going to have to work. So now this card here goes onto the scene. And so when we view this, it will just have the blood pool inside of our scene here. And this should now track with our scene that we have set up. A lot better. Okay, now if we take this merge node, we're going to plug it out of the scanline render. And so we'll have tracking with our object. Just go ahead and move this over here for organization purposes. And we'll go ahead and do this. And it should be that shake. There we go. Okay. So now you get the blood in there, and then we're going to go ahead and add in our reflections on top of that, and then our beauty layer on top of that. Cool. So now we've got our blood. I'm going to want to add in the wounds on my neck here, which is pretty elongated there. And we'll probably, I also think it would be interesting to make the blood more reflective than the ground. So where are these reflections happening? I think it's on this layer here. So the mask is essentially this section. I do want maybe the blood to have more of a, so that's this guy. I don't know, I guess it's this. So it's wherever the ground is, it's adding the reflections in. Oh, well, this is kind of going to be interesting because the reflections aren't, I wonder if I can get full reflections without bump. Glossy color. Glossy direction. Here's your shadows. Glossy indirect. That's the one I was using. It's unfortunate because I almost want a smooth layer where the reflections are. I suppose we could render out another pass if we really wanted it to make this a smooth surface. I don't think we need it though, but I mean, that would be cool. Good to know for future. I'm going to do that. And there's our blood. Probably want everything to be over a little further. Okay. And let's go look at some more blood stuff. Little poppy, right? Like, I mean, he's just like, sometimes these blood assets are a little hard to work with. Oh. Let's do this one. Oh no, this is good. I like this one. Let's go download this. To 2K as well on it, I suppose. All right, this one doesn't need to be tracked because it's going on to, it's going to have a separate track probably. It's going to go on to like my body here. Probably we should check this out. So let's turn on that. Turn on localization for all of these guys. Go ahead and save as we're going. Just finished watching the 5th episode. I haven't seen any of new Stranger Things, so no spoilers in the chat. I am looking forward to it, but I didn't get a chance to go watch it this week. Did they only release the first 5 episodes and then they're going to release the next 5 episodes later? They all die? Hey now. I know that they only released the first half of the episode or first half of the season. Or is it it's not the first half, it's the first fourth of the or third of the season. I think I'm going to track my ear here. And then he covers my neck for the most part. So we'll just do some manual tracking. Otherwise, yeah, it should work. So go to the first frame here. I'm going to add in a tracker. I'm just going to track my ear. It's just a good, if I want any blood to be tracked to my face, then it'll be good to have this. Go ahead and track that out. The new the it from Dairy, or was it something Dairy? I have seen that show. I actually had a couple friends that I think worked on it. Did some of the VFX for it. It's very cool. See, I think I've watched, so I watched It 1 and It 2. There wasn't a third one, right? So I'm probably all caught up to watch whatever this TV show is. I don't know. It's hard for me to sit down and watch a TV show. I'd rather watch a movie. Watched a couple good movies. I watched Gone Girl last night, guys. That was a great movie. I've never seen it, and I think I've seen it, but I don't think I've seen it at the same time, because I didn't recognize some parts of it, and then I watched it and I was like, oh, this seems so familiar. So I don't know. It's very possible I've seen it, but it's also possible I haven't. Okay, it's a good track there. Gone Girl's a crazy movie. Yeah, Welcome to Derry, that's the one. Okay, let's do a match move here. We'll just go ahead and create that. Now I'm going to go to our character. This is where we add the shadows in, beauty layer. So we're going to want to have all of our blood before this. So we'll do upward limb for right now. That's going to give us this guy. 4.2 out of 5. What, for Gone Girl? Watched a really good movie this week. It's called Shame. What's that one on? Okay, let's do this. Scale it down and place it where we need it. And then we'll work on all of the roto and everything else for it. Probably going to put this here. We're going to do some grid warping and whatever. I want the blood to feel kind of like that, I suppose. So if we add in a grid warp, then we'll just split this a little bit more. I guess that's pretty good. decent. Now I just got to make sure that the timing kind of matches up. Time offset, I think. And let's see. Okay, that's looking pretty good. It's not quite matching the color or anything, but it'll at least match the positioning that we want. Don't screw over your wife. Yeah, absolutely. Ultimately, in the end of the day, it's like, you know, I guess no spoilers, but, you know, she felt like she was being controlled, so she wanted to control him, you know, and I think that's the takeaway, right? How's that? One battle after another. You expected more from the movie because of the reviews. Yeah, you know, see, that's the thing. I didn't understand why everyone liked it so much. I felt like I watched a completely different movie than everyone else watched because everyone was talking so amazing about the film. And then I went and watched it and I'm like, this isn't, am I watching the movie that everyone else is talking about? I don't know. Good takeaway. Yeah. Are you doing texture work inside of Blender or Substance? I did all of that inside of Blender. I've always wanted Substance, but you know, it costs money now. And it's like, I don't know. I don't do enough of it professionally to justify the cost. So then it's like, I would be using it just for live streams because I would use that almost every week. But I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's worth. You didn't like D and W? What? D and W? Instamat? What's Instamat? Instamat. Next generation solution for design. 3D materials and assets. So wait, is it just another version of Substance Painter? What's the pricing on it? Free updates? Oh, sweet. We like that already. Well, free updates when you pay for the license, which is so much per month. That's not free updates. I love it when they're like, nowadays they're like, oh, it comes with free updates. Oh, and it's free? Oh, wait a second. Am I looking at something wrong? They got an indie license, a perpetual license, and a pro license. Do they just have like a free version as well? Get it for free? I see. It's better than Substance Painter. I feel like that's hard to believe just because Substance Painter is pretty dang good. From what I've seen. I haven't used it. You got little bloody bloods there going, guys. All right, we're going to go to global, I think. I think that tracks pretty nice. This is the only frames that I'll probably have to be concerned about it on. It worked pretty good. It's just funny. I find that funny that it worked as good as it did. Let's remove some of the sat on this. And that'll blend everything in a little bit better here. Let's also add in a defocus, I think. And we'll make this a lot smaller, but okay, grid warp transform. Let's do it here. Just a 1. Let's do that on the beauty as well. This guy, let's do it on like 2. Nope. Do a 1.5. Is that possible? Is that even possible, guys? I think 1.5 is perfect. Reflections and everything we can keep as whatever. Rip Connor? What happened? Oh, me? Yeah. Connor went gone, guys. Okay, on the beauty layer here, I think we're going to want to add a saturation node in, do a crypto matte. Can I do crypto mattes from this same track of crypto mattes? I've never even tried this. You can. Oh my God. This makes everything a million times easier. So we'll do it like this. And let's go back over here to the end of our shot. I think like I'm too saturated. Do that. And maybe we only do it on blues. Just bringing the shirt down. My shirt was a little too saturated. Now I feel a lot better, I think. Do another grade node here, maybe. Just bring the gain slightly down. I am in shadow here, you know? Brings this guy down a little bit more. Has that like little blood pop. That's great. Love it. We're going to have to roto out this now. That's pretty easy. So we'll just add in a crypto matte here. And I guess it'll be the same. Actually, we don't need a new crypto matte. We're going to use whatever this was. So this guy here, we have this blood now with this match move. We'll probably keep what? So we want the match. Yeah, we'll do this, and then we'll add a merge node in. And from this A input, drag it all the way over to the crypto matte that we are currently viewing, which is this guy. I'm just going to put it on the dot here so that way it's connected. And I'm going to add another dot in because I just don't want a wire going all the way across the scene. And we'll do hide input for this guy. But with this crypto matte now, and we'll just go back to our first position here to the beginning. Instead of this over, I'm going to use a stencil. And that's just going to erase the blood where our character is. Hi, Connor. I love to hear how you went from being a database programmer into VFX. It's a good question. Well, that is some deep research. How did you know I did database programming? But I do have answers for you. How did you know this? How'd you figure this out? Might have looked at my LinkedIn. Oh, you did look at my LinkedIn. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, well, okay. I've done is a huge thing. You just checked out my LinkedIn. That's all good. Yeah, so let's see, back up. I've done a lot of coding. So I guess coding and VFX to me are pretty similar just because they kind of like follow a lot of the same like skills. They share a lot of same fundamentals. Although VFX tends to be a little bit more art driven, and coding is kind of a little bit more, I guess, analytical and logic based. But if you know how to do coding with VFX, so VFX artists that do know how to code, I do tend to find them to be a lot more able to progress further with what they're trying to do, create their own pipeline tools, things like that. When you're working by yourself, you tend to have to code as well. Whereas when you work for larger studios, they have pipeline people that their whole job is to create kind of like those things. Now, to go to databasing from this to that, I always did VFX. So VFX has been something I've been doing forever, but not professionally. I kind of just did it for my own films and for friends' films. So first jobs that I got were more in coding, and I helped develop some database. I designed an enterprise revenue management system that to this day is still being utilized by a company, and that was very cool. It's great experience learning how to do that. I then went and created my first company that was called Strata Logo, and it was a database website that held You know, it was where in the sports industry, I had some partners that I worked with. We designed a whole website where basically it was essentially a large database of information, but I developed that from the ground up. And that gave me a lot of like development skills that I now to this day, I actually have my own website now. I don't think I've told too many of you guys. I've never announced it on the live stream before, but it's called dcpgenerator.com. It's a website to create DCPs for your films. And that is using database coding. I do all that with code, with VFX as well. So I guess it's not necessarily jumping from doing databasing to doing VFX as much as I doing like a parallel kind of like trend forward with all of my work where I've done database coding as well as VFX. And that has helped me, I think, in the world of VFX by doing database coding. And just like most of my coding that I do these days isn't really database. DCP Generator is definitely a very heavily cloud DCP, like web development thing that does rendering and licensing and like all of the stuff that it takes to make a DCP through like AWS servers. So I guess it's a little bit of databasing. It's not that much, to be honest. But the most of the coding that I do for work is all using, I don't know why the word escapes me right now, but essentially connecting APIs. That's what it is, API coding. So I do API coding with Google and Nuke and like all of these different programs and servers and all that stuff and connect everything together. And that right there is the connection of making everything work together. Where if I wanted to code something in Blender and it automatically sets something up in Nuke, or through Asana, which is our task management VFX software that we use, or rendering out plates inside of Baselight or DaVinci Resolve, you can automate everything and it makes your life a billion times better. Like that's like just, if I were to give any new people advice on like, hey, should you learn to code? Yes. Even though ChatGPT exists, even though all those things nowadays where you can code so easily, don't rely on those LLMs to code for you, because I can't tell you how many times I've had to like read the documentation myself and do all the coding myself. But yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, Dan, but that's what I got for you. That's why I went from database coding to VFX. It's more so that I wanted to do VFX. I wanted to direct my own films and produce and create my own studios and stuff. And I've had to like, I guess I've had to create all the skills to do that, right? Like if you want to own your own studio one day I have my own VFX studio and I have my own, film studio where we're making movies. Like you can not know how to do any of these things, but if you do know how to do it, it just makes you so much more competitive and just being able to do all that stuff. Osbro was a web developer for 10 years, but finally decided something that excites me. A friend of mine was also an optometrist for 20 years and became a compositor. Wow. Luckily, Python makes tons of sense. Yes, Python is like my favorite coding language ever. It's definitely the language to learn. Okay. But yes, I hope that answers your question. I'm going to get back to this. So here's the thing. Our character here, let's see, what is this? Oh, this includes him. Okay, that's what's going on. So what we'll do is I'm going to create a new crypto mat because I don't have a crypto mat of just the monster. I do want one of just the monster though. So let's create this guy. And then let's select this and move it over to the crypto mat. Absolutely. Thanks for asking the question. Gives me something to talk about. Love it when people ask questions like that. Okay, so now at the end here, we should have this blood. Now the character, is over there. Oh, because the transform node. It's fine. We can do that. We just have to paste it. It's fine. All fine and dandy. So now this blood is not going to be visible when our character goes in front. But it does go in front of me. So we're using layered crypto mats here. That's the thing I love about crypto mats is that you don't just have to take the alpha of the entire render. You can choose specific things that you want a mat to be of. And for instance, a character that's animated here, I would have to hand roto like this whole character. That would suck. So I'm glad that Cryptomats exist, guys. Makes life so much better. Let's look at some more blood things on Action VFX over here. I don't think we really need this as much. I was going to use this for painting on the shirt, but I don't think we need it as much anymore. Got these gore textures. Is it just one? Oh, what the heck? I don't think we need it. I mean, we have the limb thing, which I technically got for my Bad Omen short. So, I love, like, I buy assets and then you just own them forever. Okay, I'm going to, that's good to go. I'm going to turn off this thing about here because the arm comes behind it and it thinks the arm's going in front. So let's take this stencil here. We will just go here and make sure it doesn't just keyframe out that guy. Love it. I almost want... a little splashing on the floor. I wonder if I've got any assets for that. Some kind of like pool, like it's almost like raindrops. Do we got like little raindrops? Little raindrops that we can color grade? Just a couple raindrops. Do I have rain? I feel like I should have rain. Where's my... there we go. Rain. Raindrops on ground. I wonder if we could take raindrops on ground, then make them blood colored. I just need a little bit, though. I don't want a lot. It might be too much. It might be too much. I want it more sporadic, too. Let's try this one. We might be able to get away with it. I don't know. We're going to try it out, guys. We're going to try it out. It's a good idea. Try it out, Kaisedo. Oh, Kaisedo. We're going to try it out. Dude, I got some bug bites on my, like, face. It's, like, crazy. I try not to scratch them. It's too much. Too much. Too much. Too much. Too much. Okay, there it is. Okay, then we'll just download that. Let's do rain on the ground. We're all going to hold our breath and hope that this just works. So I like this section here maybe, or this section over here. I think that works pretty well. Look at the input. Yeah, we have plenty. Okay. So we'll take maybe this section or something. So if I do a merge node, well, firstly, let's crop it. So we'll throw a crop down And we'll just find this section over here, I think. And let's do reformat. And then we'll do a merge node, I think, with Roto. I'm just gonna, let's select this bottom section here. And this top piece, let's just feather the hell out of it. But we are going to throw, let's do a pre-multiply that RGBA, add a blur node in, and then I'm just going to feather that as well. So when we go over here to our over, we can then do a mask option. And we'll split the diff here. So this should give us just that section. And now I'm going to do let's do a keyer after this range. That's just going to create the alpha of our raindrops. Probably get a little bit more visibility there. But as we can tell, everything is just still grayscale. So let's take this. We'll do a constant. And with this constant, we could set it to whatever color we want. And we do know we like this bloody color here. So let's select that color. And now with this guy, I'm going to do a merge node and see if we can set this to our mask as well. And now we should have ourselves that. Now I'm probably going to need a little bit more. There it is. And let's see, let's do this crop again, just so that way it's the exact same size. Now we've got this blood here. And we might want this to be a little brighter. So we'll just drop a grade node in. Because this is the highlighted blood effect that's popping up on top of everything. So now we'll go over to our blood on the ground. Which again is this corner pin. Let's do this same thing, but this time we're going to use this. Okay, so we'll go to the blood on the ground. Now I'm going to go ahead and add probably just a transform, a merge node, and then we'll just drop that over top of everything. And this transform, just place you guys over here and scale you down. Okay, that should work. Let's go ahead and play that back and see how it looks. A little too bright, I think. So we'll just disable that for right now. Yeah, it should be fine. Very subtle, but it'll add those little extra droplets on the ground. Maybe a little pop-up every now and then. These like bleeding wounds, I might want them like coming out my like lips or something. Like side of the lip. Might do that. Yeah, let's do this guy here. Let's download that. Then we're gonna have to start getting into the drippies, guys. Beautiful thing. Okay. I guess my mouth is a little on the other side, so maybe we don't need to worry about the drippies or the blood drips on that. But we do need to worry about when he opens his mouth, which is near the end of the shot here. There's supposed to be some saliva or something like that. Now, I haven't been able to find any really good saliva ever. I only found some good ones on my own film that I did on Bad Omen. So I'm just going to show you some of the stuff I've got. I got VFX materials here. And I think I bought this from like Triune Studios, which was Film Riot's like own like thing. But they had like these like weird tendril like monster effect pack. Definitely recommend going to buy it. They definitely didn't sponsor me, but they're like only $30 or something like that. But they give you like all of this stuff. I might see, let's see, gash, blood, candles, tendrils, surfaces. I think these drips are the ones that I like. I use so many of these with like the werewolf dripping. Look at this. When he opens his mouth, like these things gonna go crazy, man. So that's what you need to do next is start tracking all of that stuff in here. So let's do that. Now I've got already this tracker node in. I'm gonna add another tracker, and we're going to track individually some different parts of his mouth, because now I only had to do this once when I was doing my character, because he only had one mouth. But since there's like a bunch of different lips here, you kind of have to track each one of these individually. That's not that crazy. Like, you know, just throw a tracker on, track it out till it's done. Let's see, we'll track it to the beginning here. The problem is he closes his mouth, but it's fine. We'll make do. I think that's going to be fine. Go back over here, and we'll call this left. Now we only need one. We don't need any rotation, because the cool thing about adding little drips in is that gravity has to exist. So, you know, everything's got to face down. So we'll just call this left bottom. So we'll do left BT. We'll go ahead and we'll disable that for right now. We'll do another add track, and we'll call this right BT, but let's go ahead and track it out real quick. Go ahead and close out the track from when his mouth was closed. Should be pretty good. Go back to that first one, and then I'm just going to rename this. So right dash BT. And we go ahead and add another one. I thought there were 5. Were there only 4? So you're going to make the monster's blood drip when he opens the mouth. I was more so planning on having a bunch of saliva. Let's do right there. I think that should be fine. It could be like blood saliva, like bloody saliva. I don't know. I was planning on having some drippies. The thing is, the Stranger Things monster, he's got like so much like phlegm in his mouth when he opens it. So we've got a lot of like creative freedom here. Let's do left TP. Then one more. Yeah, basically just track the 2 teeth, I think, or the 1 tooth or something like that when I did mine. I didn't have a bunch of tracks, but you didn't need a lot of tracks. If it's just one monster mouth, usually you can get away with 1 track on each side if necessary, and then you can hand keyframe things. Like it's not that crazy. We're just doing this because each one opens outwards, so you might want to have some drips coming out from the outside. Which also might make a good point. I might want some drips on the inside here. So let's go ahead and add like a center track. Oh, it's going all over the place. Do that. Oh, there is a bottom one. Then do we have anything that like is blood dropping out, like a serious amount of blood dropping out? Like a gush of blood? Might be good to do CG on that rather. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We've got all of that now tracked. I'm going to do, let's see, this one is top right. So right TP. And then I'll just call this bot center. And let's do this left one first. Let's do a track. We'll do a match move baked. It's important you do baked because otherwise you're going to have a lot of linking problems. Okay, I'm going to do this all before we redistort everything here. So let's go ahead and just add that there. Okay, fantastic. So now I've got this match move in. We can actually start dragging in some of these kind of like drip motions that we have. Probably add this one as our first one. Our first contestant, Small Slime 9. I'll do an output 709 on this guy. Let's do a match move. We're going to add a transform before that. And then we're just going to merge this back over top our shot. Now, I think, where is the... Should probably, one second, let's delete this real quick. Though it doesn't really matter. I suppose we could keep it. Go ahead and save. Let's make sure we're saving, guys. Let's do a keyer also here. And then that way we're just getting the slime effect. Let's scale this guy down and put him over top of our mouth. So we just have just the slime here. When you use the keyer, it's going to keep all the highlights of this goo, but then not the other portion. So this should be good. And let's line this up. It's a little large, so we're just going to want it to be pretty dang small. That's even still too large. That's pretty cool. It's a little ping of movement is all we're really wanting. Let's do a time offset here and set this to let's do 1020. Got to get to 90. Oh. 1050. That works. Now, when does he open his mouth? I think that's what I got to figure out. 65. I think we were good then. So now when we play this back, he's going to track, and we're going to see him from the outside of his mouth here momentarily. We can adjust all of those things. But now we've got like this little extra ping of goo, and we can track in a bunch more of those. The more you have in, the better it's going to look. It just requires you a little bit of work. And we will have to grade these as well. For right now, it's okay. I'm probably just going to copy everything here. And I'm just going to use the exact same guy. Let's see, we're going to move this match move, I think, all the way over here. So that way we can use him. And I'm going to hide the input here. But let's say we want to use that same track, but I want to use it on right bottom, I think. So we'll do match move baked. And We'll use the same merge node. I don't see a reason why not to. So just use the same merge node. And with this transform over here, let's go ahead and just place this guy all the way on the edge of that one. And we're going to want to offset this a little bit. 1060, I think. So that way it doesn't look like they're the same. And we're probably going to want to imagine we might want to merge this first. Let's disable all of this and then just use one merge node here. That way, if I want to make some large global changes, I can. It'll be a lot easier to do if everything is merged together. Let's make that a little darker, and then let's also make it maybe red. Well, there's a couple ways we could go about this, right? So if we go to this grade node here, let's set the white point to the color of the goo. And you just do that by setting the white point here. We're going to do checkbox. And then now it's going to basically map over our white values to like this red affected looking goo. We might want to desat it slightly. Okay, very good. Let's keep some more of that flang in. Okay, very good. Especially with these darker pieces, you know? Like, look at that. Oh, that looks so good, dude. More of that, the better. Am I right? I'm right. So that's all slime 9. Let's look at slime 8 here. Just go down the track here, guys. So we're just going to copy everything pretty much. This is going to also be on the right. Let's do another output, 709. And let's go ahead and do another merge here. Use a different transform node for this guy. Just going to move him over. Like, you know, just a little bit. Do a slime 7, I think, next. I'm just going to add a bunch of these. Do one side at a time. I was doing both, but I'm just going to do one side at a time. Let's do that a little smaller. It's pretty good there. Require a lot of this, guys. A lot of slime. The more slime, the slimier he is. Huh. Okay. just do this for right now. I'm disabling this for right now so that way I could check all the tracking and everything. I don't think it's going to be a problem regardless, but we're going to organize this a little better too. Okay, and maybe one more. Let's do that. Copy paste this over and put that in there. I might put that as A1s. That way these are all just on one. All right, so this is just one, and let's start at 68, I think, or somewhere around here. Play back this gooiness over here. See how well everything tracks, and if it even looks right. And I wonder what looks like color graded as well. Set that to global. There we go. That's cool. So now graded, it's going to look more like that. I don't know. I don't like that ping. Let's, hey, Zach, welcome into the chat. I'm going to bring down this ping a little bit here, make it a little bit more, kind of one. That's probably a lot better. No direct sunlight on that anyways. Christmas is upon us. You are right. This is the last day of defense against Christmas. Let's see. Let's do this. I'm going to keep this color correction. I don't know if we want this on a individual layer or not. Let's do this backdrop here. And I'm going to call this right bottom. We'll go ahead and set that to bordered. So really, we've got like, you know, we've got a lot of these. Like, I'm probably just going to copy paste everything at this point, and then we'll just change out a few things, right? So I've got this right bottom one. Just go and delete that for right now. Let's go ahead and just copy paste this. And then this will be left bottom. So we'll just swap that out. Christmas is upon us. None of you guys answered my Q&A yet. My Q&A. Q&A, man. All right, left bottom here. Let's go to our tracker, and then we'll just select our left bottom track that we have and do another match move. We'll do create, and let's delete that. I think we're just going to delete paste. Delete paste. Delete paste. So on and so forth. So each one of these will have a separate track. Now, if we preview this one, we want all of our blood guys to be over to the left bottom side. Pretty easy. Do something like that, I think. I think this one could be centered. Okay. And then we'll play this one back to see how well it tracks. Again, disabling our color first, so that way we can see everything in motion. A lot easier. We could probably double the amount of saliva that we're seeing here, but you know, that's kind of up to us. We have the option to do whatever we want. Have to have these fade in as well, I think. It's always nice to have that little extra motion in there. Tracking's not perfect. But it's not terrible either. So let's add a transform in here. Set a key here. That's the whole mouth. Wonder if I can scale the width up here. Where'd that go? Oh, there it is. And up. Do set key. Go back over here and then do 0, 0. Wonder what that looks like. I'm compensating enough. I also wonder how visible it's going to be because it's so dark, bloody that like we might be able to get away with it moving a little bit. Because we tracked one part of the flap opening, but the flap opens like that. So technically we might be tracking the wrong thing. Should be tracking each blood asset individually, but you already know I'm a little too lazy for that. That's going to work. Okay, great. So then we re-enable that. Beautiful. Okay, great. Great. So that's right bottom. I'm going to copy paste. Now, do we want to copy? I don't know if we're going to want to copy paste this or not. But this is going to be this guy. This guy. Now let's go ahead and merge the two bottoms. And then let's copy this. So that's right bottom. And so this will be left top. And we'll do the exact same thing again. So we'll just disable that. And we're going to work on this guy over here. But before we do that, we need left top tracking. So select this and then do the match move baked. Delete it and paste it over under our left top section. A lot of tedious work, or I guess, is it tedious? It's a lot of like just repetitive work, guys, this week. So I know it's not as fun, but it is what it is, unfortunately. I'll do that one to there. Just enough drippies. With everything together, it's gonna look pretty sweet. Might want different color controls between each one, but right now I think I'm gonna do them all at the same time at the very end. Technically, maybe more efficient would be to not import each one of these every single time, because we're using the same asset over and over again. Oh, that works really well, guys. That track looks good. That looks good. I love it. I love it. And then with the grade, it'll just be pretty dark, but it'll still be there. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so let's take this left top. We're going to just copy it, paste it, and then we're doing right top. That's the last one, really. So we'll just rename this to right top. Save that and go over to our right top track. Do a match move. Delete it. And we're going to our right top section over here and pasting each one of these in. Beautiful. Okay. I'm just going to see, that's all. Let's do this one next here. I think also we're going to want to, this one's already done, so I could just set that to an A2 situation. Beautiful. Okay, now we're doing this right top section over here. So we have all of the same drippies again. This time, just moving everything over. At least we don't have to like find new assets every single time, you know, like it's all really nice. Just creatively placing the exact same phlegm in different spots. Now, we may have to do some time offset changes here because everything is dripping exactly the same every single time. But for right now, we're just kind of lining everything up, and then we can change all that stuff later. Okay, so there it is. Let's go ahead and play everything back now, see how it looks on that track. These guys got, they have so much though that they even stretch between different ones, which we're not going to do today, though we could. That might just take some grid warping. You're going to track 2 points of interest, and then you just use one of these other assets here. I think we're probably going to be done after we add this in. Once we have it fade in, I should say. Oh, that looks decent. That looks pretty good. Okay, so then I'm just going to take this other A position here, and then we'll just plug that in like so. Now, with this color grade here, we're just going to want this color grade to plug directly through here. So now everything's kind of dripping all at the same time. Let's see how it plays. I'm going to, before we enable the color grade, I want to see everything like very visibly. And then we can make adjustments after that. We'll see how well everything tracks on. If it's too many duplicates, we'll see all of that exactly at the same time. Shouldn't be a problem because we're moving them all over the place and there's so many of them as well. You're going to have duplicates here, but like, you know, I guess it's the exact drip timing. Like it might look bad. We'll see. We'll see if it looks as bad as I think it's going to look. It's actually not that visible that there's a lot of duplicates. Look at that, guys. Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Now we just have to color grade it all to be like that kind of like bloody drip. And then also fading in. I think that's the next thing I'm going to do here is have it kind of fade in. So technically, if we add another merge node and a constant, just makes it a little easier to dissolve these things. Let's do that. Let's see, we'll go back a few frames. Go to here, I think. See how well that plays, guys. Thank you, Okai Sadao. Thank you. Let's see if it all plays back well now. And if it does, I'll enable the color grade that we're kind of doing here. It's right when he's opening his mouth. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So now, when you've got that, we'll just go ahead and enable the color grade. It's going to look more like that. Beautiful. Now, am I defocusing? I guess I am. This. Let's see. This is the... I'll put you down here, actually. The defocus that I'm doing, I might want to do the same with the blood. Yeah, that's looking good. And then before we do that, we might even want to throw a motion blur on. I don't even know if I have a motion blur. Did I render it out with motion blur in here? I did not. So we do need motion blur. So I'm going to, let's close this for right now. Before we do the defocus, throw a motion blur on. I don't think I need it on the shadows or the reflection over there. I think we're good. It's a little hard to see, I think. Let's do this. Let's throw a grade node in. Lift the gain up a little bit. Let's just see how it plays from here. It's a little bit far away, so like it's really hard to see them unless it's brighter. But I don't want it to be too bright. Then I gotta roto everything back in, and I think then we're pretty close to this, done with the shots, guys. And a nice regrain. And I think we're done. You know, I didn't add a virtual lens either, so we could do that just to add a little bit of halation to our character, especially on like parts of the skin that would have that. So I don't think we're doing anything right now in regards to that. No, we're not. A little bit of motion blur as well here. Also, there's no light wrapping right now. I should add all of that. I don't have any light wrapping. That looks good. Okay. Let's add a little bit of light wrap in. Go before this motion blur. We'll do a light wrap. And then this light wrap is going to get plugged into the spot before. So let's grab this B here. Put that there. And let's see, what is this? Probably just want a little bit of space just so it doesn't look as bad. This light wrap, then let's set the intensity here to a 1. And when he's fully standing, it's the window that should be creating a little bit of a bloom around him. Let's go over there. Stand up. There you go. So you see that right there? We're adding a little bit of a glow that's kind of happening around the body here. It's pretty good. You know, there really isn't that much of a glow that's happening on these other parts of the shot, so you don't want to have more than the actual physical photography's glow. But you'll notice that there's like this chromatic aberrations that are happening on our shot, which means that we're going to want to do the exact same thing to our guy, because right now we don't have any of that stuff. So let's do that. So after our blood that we added in here, let's add in a virtual camera or a virtual lens. Now, Nuke has this really cool plugin called Virtual Lens. It allows you to basically make a lot of customizable options to add inhalation, add in all of these extra things that we're talking about here. Where did it add it? Virtual lens. There you are. So we're going to add you all the way down here at the bottom of our pipeline. And if we go preview this, nothing's going to happen by default, but we can start to add in certain things. For instance, a lovely, probably a little bit of a diffraction glow. And we're going to turn that down quite a bit. The other thing is I want to add a merge node in. We only want this to appear over our CG character here because we're basically adding in essentially effects where our character is. And we can do that by simply grabbing a merge node here and making it so that wherever we do something, and you can kind of see this happen, if we add in a roto node or something like that, we could say, hey, we only want the effect to happen in this area right here. If you plug the mask option into that, you'll see that kind of happening. Let's turn this all the way up. And We set that to RGBA. Right? Am I right? Definitely not, I guess. Merge node. What am I doing here? Let's set that to mask, I suppose. And then now you're getting that glow effect that happens, and then that glow effect would be placed there, I think is the correct answer. Let's make sure that the alpha is set to 1 on all of this as well. There you go. Okay, so what we're going to first do is set the alpha to 1, and then we'll do a mask of this and then have that go over top of our original image. So that way all of our effects that we're doing is only going to be applied to where this roto is. Now, this roto is not going to be what we want. We want it to be our CG, which we do have. So let's do this. We're going to add in a merge node here, and we're going to merge this, which is our new blood effects that we're doing, plus a crypto mat, which has our CG characters in it. So let's do that all the way up there. Now what we're going to get if we go to this guy is blood and our character. Just need to make sure that the transform is being applied to our crypto mat that we added. Like so. There you go. So now we're getting our blood as well as our character. And that's going to give us a lovely alpha that we can now use. And that alpha we're going to use with this merge node with the mask that we just created. Oops, I am all on one screen. But yes, so I'll show you this transform plugging into the crypto mat at our very top here. And then also merging with the output of our blood here, which gives us the alpha channel of our character and the blood. And so then now if we take this mask option after our virtual lens and have it plugged into that guy. Now, when we go preview everything after it merges everything back together, we will only have any kind of like veiling glare or anything like that happening where our character is, which is very important. Hey, Marvin, welcome into the chat. How you doing today? So now, obviously, we're not going to want this diffraction glow, but we can go in here and get some of our lovely chromatic aberrations that we'll want where this window is. And if we look at some of these other chromatic aberrations, they're kind of like this purplish tint. So we might want to match that, of course, as well. So let's see, red, blue, probably a little more blue here, a little less red. A little darker. So then the red is a little darker here. We're just matching the amount of chromatic aberration that our character would have if it was shot for real. So that adds like this lovely chromatic aberration. I like adding some of these other ones, like some astigmatism as well. That adds a little bit of detail to everything, or a little bit of defocus to everything rather. And so I would probably want to remove the defocus that we're adding over here because we're going to be doing it onto this virtual lens. So let's go back over here to our virtual lens again and turn on a little bit of halation. Yeah, some great progress. Absolutely. We added all the blood and everything today to the that as well as to our character here. Probably, I think if we disable that. I don't know. What? feel like I want everything to be a little bit more. Like if I do a grade on the alpha here and we boost the gain of this. Yeah, there we go. That's more of what I want. Look at that. Look at that blood crap. Oh, yeah. So now let's take a look at that again now when it plays everything back there with the new blood. It's just the alpha was a little too transparent on it, man. Just a little too much. I'm going to take a closer look at this, please. Go to full screen. I don't mind going to full screen as long as I remember to disable the full screen later. While that's caching, I'm going to check how much battery is left on this camera. Yeah, it's on its last bar, which, you know, means it's probably going to go out at some point soonish. I mean, we're kind of almost done with this stream. Just finishing up the last touches here, guys. If we can get this to cache. That's the trick. Not running out of like CPU or anything like that, so. What is going on here? Close our extra browser. Is that taking up space, man? I don't know. I'll restart Nuke as well. Restart Nuke. Goodness. I gotta do roto. Guys, we gotta do the roto on this next. Oh, we're not responding now. This is great stuff. Just trying to like crash my computer. There we go. Sometimes just crashing it is the way to go, guys. Sometimes you just gotta crash it. Get over it. You know, move on. Move on. All right, let's load this guy up here and gonna do a little bit of roto work. Just so many like nodes. I think I'm just importing so many assets, but like I don't know. My computer's not like the greatest computer ever, so you know, you make do with what you got. Let's watch this back now. Hopefully this works pretty well, and then we'll do some roto work. Finish off with some wonderful roto work. Everyone's favorite task in filmmaking. Or VFX, I should say. It's everyone's favorite VFX task. Yeah, I wonder if I remove the constant that is... Oh, what is this one? Oh, that one is brightening it up slightly. Yeah, we don't want that one. We got some motion blur jank there. I think that's motion blur jank. We'll play it back and see what it looks like in motion. We do have some clipping issues, by the way, guys. I think I would normally re-render this if it weren't just a live stream render. But because it's just a live stream render, I'm not going to do that. But we do have some clipping issues that should be fixed. But, you know, it is what it is. Looking decent, guys. So that's with the blood kind of dripping out. That looks pretty good. I like it. Let's do some roto here. It always sets everything up, you know, a little better. Sets you in the world. What's up, Dave? Welcome into the chat. How are you doing today? Just comping today. We're doing some roto work. Gonna finish off with some lovely roto. So this pipe has to go all the way down here, and then we'll also probably need all that rotoed over there as well. So let's go and do that. Probably just add in a roto node, and we'll just go to the very top here. Now, you know what? We're gonna be a good boy, and we're gonna throw a tracker as well. Let's just track this guy. We'll add a tracker to this pipe. Normally do this, but this shot tends to, or will, like it kind of like lends itself to it, you know. I feel like I don't normally like to roto and track a roto, even though I always hear everybody always say that like this is like the thing to do. I don't, because the bounding box of the roto only exists within the plane of where you created your roto in the first place, and that doesn't sound like it would be a problem, but it is. It's an annoying issue. So yeah, let's do this. I don't know how much of this we're going to need. I'm just kind of figuring if I can roto everything, I might as well, you know? So I don't know how much of the reflections are going down here or how far those reflections come down. But this pipe does fully need to be in front of it entirely. So we'll go to the top here. Should be good all the way. And we should probably be fine. Let's hope this all just works out. That's what I hope for in life, is things just to work out. Do I need to roto that as well? I might. We'll get to it later. And that should be it. So there's our roto, and I don't really know how much we're going to need, but we'll take this. We'll do another match move here. Create a lovely, beautiful thing. Track that in, and there's our roto. Now I'm going to merge this over top our footage. I think we'll just do B, and we'll say, hey, create a mask for it. Now we've got ourselves a nice roto of this pipe. Probably want to undistort it as well, and then we can merge this back on top of everything at the very bottom of all of everything that we possibly did. Technically could, yeah, we'll just do that. So that puts that in front. I suppose this other pipe is behind that head, so we don't need to roto that. We now have this roto that we created. We go to the end of the shot, and then hope everything just kind of like lines up. It does for the most part. Just disable that. That's fine. That's good. Let's go here. Got good keyframing. Go to another 50 frames back. Looks good to me. Oh, there goes my camera. We'll just turn that off for right now. And I'll turn it off over here as well. The camera's gone, everybody. The camera is gone. No more camera. Okay. But yeah, I'm just adding in this kind of like roto work here. And then let's go ahead and just add a few more keyframes, I think. Beautiful. I think I may have messed this one up. So let's just remove that keyframe. Wonderful. All right. Fantastic. So now we have kind of like that pipe rotoed in. We've got this wall now. This wall should be rotoed as well. So let's do that. I'm going to enable that, I think. And I'm also, you know what? I'm just going to hand do this, honestly, because I just feel like, you know what? We'll track it. It's fine. We'll track it. We'll track it. We'll track it. Track it. It's the right thing to do, okay? We'll just add another tracker in. We'll just track this like little whatever, you know? Just add a tracker in for this guy. I'm going to set it to the first frame so that way it sets the reference frame to 1001, and then we just go ahead and track out. Now there's no rotations in the camera, so we really only need one tracker. We don't need two. It's mostly just X and Y. And there might be some undistortion that's kind of happening here that we'll have to like kind of map for, but I think we're good. I think we're good. So we'll go all the way here to the first frame, and we've got our roto node here. So we'll just do another match move, create, and voila, drop that in. Now on this first frame, we just create a roto, really. I mean, honestly, it's not that crazy. Just do that. Let's line that up there. And line that up there. Okay, perfect. So now when we go look at, suppose we go just look at here. If we go to the end or go to the next set, we're just going to have to manually set some roto points here. As I said, there will be some distortion we are going to account for, but it's not that crazy. Wonderful. Okay, next up, there is some kind of treatment work we should do. When we're rotoing something that is out of focus or perhaps has a different light background than, like, for instance, this, right? If we go to our final rendered CG shot here, let's enable this so that way it actually works. But if we go to our final rendered CG shot here, our character might be occluding the area in which normally would have had that ground piece there. So this out of focus section here should no longer have kind of like this lit up section. This will happen on any kind of edges where we are now occluding a window or the pipe is occluding, or the body of the CG object is behind this pipe, which had the window behind it, or some brighter surface like this ground here. So what we can do, though, is after we create our rotoed pieces that we have, we can actually extend the edges of this section. And we can fix little issues that it might have. Now, we're only going to want to do this where the monster is, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we added in this edge extend, and we're going to go ahead and erode as well. If you see what this erode will do, you kind of see what's happening here. We're just basically erasing the area in which that light existed on that edge. And we're blending in kind of like the colored pixel values that are more on the inside of the object and kind of blending it. Now it's doing some undesirable things to the rest of our image here. And that's where, you know, this can get a little tricky because we really only want this to happen where our character is. So let's actually do this on the undistorted version of the shot. because there is a difference between the undistorted and distorted version, especially on lenses that'll be crazier. And more specifically with our creature. Now we happen to have a mask that we can use, and that's going to be over here in our like crypto mat section. So we should have just the creature and me and pretty much everything that is going to be affected by us, which would be the leg and things like that. So what we should do here is take this roto mask here, and we should do it with this transform. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this, and we'll just drag that over there. So now you can see that it's transforming our character over. I'm just going to move this transform node all the way to the section which we're going to need it, which is over by this edge extend that's happening. I'm also going to create, whoopsies, a dot. Can I not? Let's zoom in a little further. It'll be easier. Okay, we're going to create a little dot here, and we'll go ahead and hide the input for it. That way we're not getting these random strings all the way across our comp. But this transform node will then move it over to the section we want. We can now use this mask function and plug that in. So now if we go over to our shot, we will only be edge extending where that is happening. If we didn't have that, I could show you how bad that would be. If I added that edge extend everywhere, we're going to create some really bad lines in areas that we're not rotoing anymore. And it'll create issues throughout the rest of your comp that are very undesirable. And we only wanted it in the section where the light was being blocked off anyways. So we could just use this mask node, and then that way we're kind of feathering that out. Now, I also probably want this to blur things a little bit more. We'll do the exact same merge here. Just blur that out a little bit more to match. It's not going to be much. It's just a little bit. Looks good to me. I might, instead of a blur, let's use an edge blur. And we'll do the exact same area, which we want that. And we could blur it a little bit more or less to help match the rest of the surface. So I think roughly that looks like it lives within the correct world here. But yes, so the two things we're going to be doing is edge extending and blurring, and that's going to give us that sharpened edge. Now, I suppose the other way we could do this, if we delete that edge blur, we can actually do this a different way. We can actually add a blur node right after this roto, and that will give us that feathered edge that we don't have right now. So let's go ahead and do that. You can see we're just like blurring out that edge a little bit to match the rest of the edges on this. You're essentially just blurring the alpha of that roto. That's all you're doing. Okay, fantastic. So now we've got our rotos in. We've got our dude on the ground with some blood. We could cache back this shot and see how everything looks in playback, though I just feel like that's going to take forever. But we should probably do it because it's the end of our little tutorial video here. I want to make sure that this extra table back here doesn't go in front of our character. I don't think it does. Not without this piece of wood. I just want to make sure of that. Yeah, we should be fine. Well, great. Let's go ahead and cache this out. We can play it back. If you guys do want the project files for this, you can find those in the link in the description. I do have a Patreon. You can help support the YouTube channel. And then, of course, you get all the project files from this live stream as well as every single other live stream I've ever done. All of those are up on the Patreon. And, of course, I have some behind the scenes of some other projects that I'm currently working on, similar to like the Bad Omen short film that I made and released earlier this year. I've got some other projects coming up, as well as a feature film that I'm planning on shooting next year. I will tell you guys all about that in the weeks to come. Very exciting things. That was the most like sales pitchy way I could have said that. I feel like that was the most sales pitchy way I could have said that. I love that my head is behind this post. You don't get to see my eyes, everybody. I'm gonna end this Q&A. I guess no one wanted to tell me what their favorite holiday traditions were. It's unfortunate. Also, by the way, guys, thank you so much for giving me subscriptions this late, or subscribing to the YouTube channel the last couple weeks. It's been great. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. So if you guys are here and you aren't subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and like the video, of course. Building a snowman, good holiday tradition. But yeah, we're almost at 5,000 subscribers. Pretty crazy. Very excited about that. You know, here in California, we don't have too much snow, so I wouldn't say building a snowman is my tradition that I do. You might see something worse. Absolutely. Leave it to the imagination. Thank you so much, Marvin. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see. I might I don't know when we'll hit it. I find that if I post those shorts, like YouTube shorts, I get a bunch more subscribers faster that way. I don't do that very often. I don't do that very often, no. Oh, on a side note, I did just get my my Christmas cards in. So excited. I send out Christmas cards and candy to all of my VFX clients that I have every year. So it's like that's a fun tradition that I do. I would say that, like, I really like to I like to do that. Oh, this is not going to play back at real time, is it? Too many motion blur nodes, guys, and 3D scenes. Wow, I think it looks pretty good. This looks pretty decent. Pretty decent indeed. Is it gonna freeze here? Oh, dude, guys, the blood looks good too. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. Oh, yeah. Thanks for sticking it out with me, guys. This was a fun one. I've always wanted to make a monster like this, VFX shot. I just have never done it. And this is fun. This is a good time. Perfect that Stranger Things was just coming out. I was like, I have to do something. You have to, you know? I just feel like the camera's a little too far away in order for you to see it. So I think we're gonna do a couple final things, I think, here, guys. Let's go down here. I'm just gonna add a transform node in. And we'll scale it up slightly. Just give it a little bump. A little too much. Do that, I think. And then let's crop it. Let's throw a regrain on there. Oh, dude, I don't get anything like that because I just I think I'm lucky. I just avoid the spoilers like crazy, man. Which is not an invitation to any of you guys to spoil it for me. I haven't seen the latest season at all. What's a good Stranger Things color grade? What does Stranger Things cinematography look like? Stranger Things cinematography. We're just gonna try to get some of those vibes in here, you know? do that. Let's add a little bit of a vignette, I think. We'll just do that with like a nice roto here. Something like that, I think. That's what happens when you try to color grade and nuke, guys. I mean, you can. I like to give a nice color grade on this just to polish off the shot. Let's take that. Yeah, it's good. Let's go to the beauty layer, I think. Did I do... do that with here. I like that. Just lift a little bit. That gives it a nice blend, I think. There we go. So there's like my Stranger Things color grade there. Pretty simple. It's not that crazy. And there you guys go. I think that's going to be it for today's live stream. That's the color grade. I'll render this out because it's not going to play back at real time anyways. But hope you guys enjoyed this video as we worked on this Stranger Things live stream here. To force yourself to watch it before you open Instagram. Absolutely. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this Stranger Things live stream with no spoilers in this live stream series, but with just a fun VFX shot that we created ourselves here. Again, I'll be back. My camera on momentarily. Let's see if it'll work for this. I'll be back. I'll be back next week, I think, and then we're starting our Christmas jams, guys. We're doing some Christmas live streams. I don't know what we're going to do for some Christmas live streams. Hey, thank you so much, Okaisido. Appreciate it. But we're going to do some fun Christmassy things. Now, in the years past, I've done like snowmen, ice skating, like all those things. So I don't know yet. I don't know what we're going to do this Christmas time. If you guys have any recommendations, leave us some comments below. Let's go Christmas live streams, baby. Yeah, we did October, Spooktober, and then now we're going to be doing some Christmas jollies, okay? Some Christmas jolly streams, and I don't know what that means yet, but we're going to figure it out as we're going along. I got to make a new music mix for starting out the live streams. I always do a themed one every single time, so I got to make one for this one, and we're gonna create some stuff. I think each week we'll do a different render, so we'll work on it. Can you make the Krampus? I don't know. Maybe. Send it to me on the Discord of something that's specific that you want. And maybe if it's like a specific image. If not, I gotta look up Krampus. I could make a generic Krampus thing. I don't know. But I want to give a special thanks to our wonderful Patreon subscribers who help support this YouTube channel. The Grinch. Ooh, yes. The Grinch. We could do a nice little Grinch. We'll do like one of the ones from Illumination, like their Grinch. I like that Grinch. Also, I mean, Jim Carrey's Grinch is great, but like that's more photoreal. So I guess we could figure something out. I don't know. I also want to try to do something in one stream. So just to make it like each week, it'll be a new thing. I don't know. I don't know yet. But anyways, thank you to these wonderful Patreon subscribers here. And if you guys would like these project files, as well as all of our previous live streams, link to that is in the description below. I will see you guys next week with a new render. And we're going to do it, guys. We're going to make some Christmas goodness all the way. I'll see you guys. You guys have a good one. Stay creating. Talk to you later. Peace out.